Alright guys, welcome back. So I'm talking to you from the other end of the pond this time. Finally was able to migrate to the US of A. And hopefully now that makes collecting a little bit easier for me in terms of acquiring figures in store and stuff like that. Which in turn will also allow me to do far more content and also possibly do some giveaways as a way of showing my thanks for all the support. But today we'll be taking a look at the first store acquisition. Actually picked this up in Walmart and actually got it for retail price, which is kind of nice. And this is the Knuckles from the Sonic 3 movie. So without further ado, let's crack this package open and see what we get inside. So let's just take a quick look at the packaging. We have the Sonic 3 logo there. We have the Shadow, Tails, Knuckles, Sonic coming down the side. Knuckles in front. Nice clamshell package. Light could get in all around. Let's just see what that bio says there. Knuckles is one tough echidna with no time for small talk. He will protect the Master Emerald no matter the cost. Pretty cool. It's kind of a shame they didn't actually give him a Master Emerald though, but sure we could find some kind of prop. Enough about this packaging, let's crack it open. So I actually don't even have my cutter, so I'm just gonna go full gorilla on this package here. Alright, so let's take a closer look at Knuckles. You can see fur detail going on there. And he does have that sort of 3D sort of eye technology. Though I don't think his works as well as Sonic's. It seems to work a little bit better than Tails's though. When you look from the bottom, it starts getting a little weird there. One thing I knew right off the bat with this figure is that he wasn't going to have very good articulation on the head. And no surprise, because of the spines coming down there, he literally barely could move. Which is not ideal. Would have been better if JAKKS Pacific started utilizing more rubbery plastics to do the quills in. I think that would benefit them quite a lot and benefit us. You could see the crescent moon shape on the chest there. Could have used another coat of white paint, I think. There's a little bit of smudging going on the nose. Not ideal. Aside from the fact that his head can't move, the rest of his articulation seems pretty decent though. And moving around to the back, you could see that fur texture going all around. Somebody with the ability to do a wash and stuff will probably be able to bring these quills out pretty well. Make it look a little bit more like the 3D animation. But I think the sculpt is pretty damn good. You have the infamous Knuckles on his knuckles there. And get down to the shoes. Nice paint going on. Some little seam lines sculpted in there. No laces, but he does have the metal plate, as he does in the games. And he actually does have some treads at the bottom of the feet. Shoes are painted really well though. Not seeing any sort of splotches or runoff or anything. That's pretty nice. I just noticed that they did try to do some softer quills, but it's just nowhere near soft enough to make it pliable enough that you'll be able to turn his head. These needed to be quite softer. They even did a softer, well, similar material on the tail, but it's just too stiff. But yeah, I think it does look really nice though. and he certainly will display very well with the Sonic and Tails, which is the whole reason I got him, just to complete the hero lineup. Haven't seen Shadow in store though, but maybe at some point I'll get him. Alright, so getting right into the articulation. As mentioned, barely any movement in the head. Can turn about that much only. Can go up and down about that much. Pretty much non-existent. How you're gonna get all the turns and how you're gonna get him to turn his head is by this torso joint, which does work pretty well as a swivel. And a bit up and a bit down. Not too much though. The arms do have a butterfly joint in there, but they're pretty much unable to be used because of the quills. He does have shoulder articulation, which goes up to about here. The bicep does swivel. The elbow joint does give you about 90. His wrist does have a swivel and a hinge. The fingers do have a hinge, open and closing. As mentioned, the torso joint does swivel and does go up and down a little bit, which is probably how you're going to get him to do any sort of head movement. The hips kick up about this far, kick back about this far. He can do almost full split. His thigh does have a swivel. His knees bend about 90. His knees do swivel. Because of the cuff that they made, the green cuff, his feet can't really go back that far. He goes forward quite a little bit and barely has an ankle rocker. So I think he might be the worst articulated out of all of them so far. But you can get him to do some cool stuff, I guess. If only they made these parts out of significantly softer. They did do soft material, but it's just not soft enough to allow any flex, any boots, or any head turning and stuff. And that's one thing that they could do to improve these figures, I think. For accessories, he ain't got shit. Since he doesn't come with a Master Emerald, he could protect this Master Quartz instead. So for height, he does stand about 5.5 inches tall, thereabouts. So because he doesn't come with any accessories, and because my last figure size comparisons were so lackluster because everything was packed away, I'll try to make up for it here. Here he is next to McFarlane Batman. Here he is next to Jada Toys Ken. Here he is next to Black Series Mando. Here he is next to Jada Toys Mega Man. Here he is next to NECA Mirage Donatello. Here he is next to Maximum Series Spider-Man. Here he is next to Marvel Legends Ant-Man with warped antenna. And of course the comparison everybody wants to see. Here he is next to Sonic. And here he is next to Tails. So all in all, I think is a decent figure from JAKKS Pacific. Probably not one of the better ones from the Sonic 3 line, but I still think Sonic is the best articulated out of all of them. But he does have a really nice sculpt. I think he could have been a little bit better articulated in the legs. There's not much I could do with the head except make the quills like super soft or something. Maybe that will work next time they're doing a release. But the ankles is something I think they could have definitely done a better job on, because they barely have any movement. And also if they put a swivel at the boot rather than at the knee, it works out a lot better that way. Also, I think they should start including accessories with this. I thought I did see a Sonic at some point that did have an emerald with him, but It'd have been nice if each one of these characters came with their own emerald, and that way, at the end of it all, maybe you'll have all 7 or something. Would have been nice. But still like the figure. Still would recommend it if you're still looking for one. Definitely rounds off the Sonic Tails Knuckles team there. And the retail price of this is $14.99, I believe. And I picked this up in Walmart. My apologies for the lack of a backdrop. We'll be getting something probably in the coming weeks, working on something, so definitely will be improving as time goes on. But I still do have all my lighting, and I do have the camera, of course, and microphone, so all that hasn't changed. So in the coming weeks, we'll try to work on getting a nice backdrop. Maybe something, change it up a little bit. We'll see how it goes. But nonetheless, hope you all enjoyed this review. Hope this was helpful to anybody who was on the fence about getting this figure. And until next time, y'all take care.